Hi there, Nathan Gilmore again. Back to talk a little bit more about the senior seminar paper. Now, one of the requirements for this paper is that you have a certain number of sources and of a certain kind. There's a reason for each of them, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them right now. Now, first of all, you have a total of 8 minimum sources. Alright, what that means is you can have 9 if you want to, but if you only have 7, you're not going to get full credit. Likewise, if you use 10 sources in your paper, you'll get full credit. If you only use 4 of them, even if there are 8 on your works cited page, you're not going to get full credit. So you need to think about, how do all of these things that I'm finding add up to some sort of interesting question about you, your goals, your major, your career. How does John Donne's life, writings, career, all those things, how do they influence, or how might they influence the way that you go about doing what you do? Now, as far as the sources go, the first one, you're going to see a link up in the right margin of this site that says John Donne's Meditation 17. If you click on that, you'll have the full text of it. Now, you can copy and paste that, obviously, but be sure to cite it every time you use it in your paper. So in other words, let your reader know you're using line 7 and 8 from John Donne whenever you cite his text. If you don't put it in quotation marks when you quote it directly, or if you don't cite it when you paraphrase his ideas, that's plagiarism. That's going to result in bad consequences. Don't do it. Now, other sources. One of them is going to be your 131 Christians book that you purchased for this class. Hopefully you've been using it on your papers. Another source that you're going to want to use is some translation of the Bible. You'll want to get a hold of whatever style manual your major uses, whether that be APA, whether that be Chicago style, whether that be Turabian, whether that be MLA. You want to find out what citation style guide you use, figure out how to cite that Bible in that citation style. Alright? Those are 2 of your required sources. A couple other things that you're going to want to use are some sort of research source, some sort of scholarly academic source about the life and the career of John Donne. You can go to our library, they can help you out on that. Another source you can use will be some sort of scholarly academic source about the writings of John Donne. Now, our librarians know that you're doing this project. They have these things set aside. Please use them as a resource. They're there to help. Alright? Now, you're also required to use 3 more sources, and I'm kind of looking here. It looks like you have some flexibility on those 3 sources. Here's what I would suggest. Do the research in the sources that are required for this assignment, then turn around and say, alright, what questions do those things bring up? In other words, start with your research, find some questions in your research that you want to answer, and then take those research questions, run over to the library and try to find answers to them in some more sources. If you keep going through that loop, question and answer, you'll have a more interesting paper, you'll use your sources in a more compelling manner, you'll end up with a better grade on the assignment, I would imagine. So, this is going to end our little discussion on the actual sources that you're going to use on this paper. In the next clip, we're going to talk a little bit, actually what are we going to talk about? I should have looked at this. So, you'll just have to click on the next clip, find out what we're talking about. It's one of the mysteries of life.